everybody, this is a look at link extractors in Scrapy. They are a great way of crawling a site, and you don't have to use the crawler method. You can actually use link extractors within your spider. So that's what we're going to look at today. So without further ado, let's begin some code. Okay, so let's begin. Let's consider what is a link extractor. Well, a link extractor is an object that extracts links from responses, HTTP responses from your spider. So you may be more familiar, or you may have seen link extractors being used with crawlers, but you can equally do it within your spider. So a spider is a bit more precise, and if you want to extract all the links from a subdomain, then you can do it with a Scrapy spider and the link extractor. So let's, I've got VS Code open here somewhere, so so far so good. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to import something called Link Extractor from scrapy.linkextractors, and this is what we'll be using. I'm just copying and pasting this from my notes. So this is the key part, and we'll be using this in our main code. From scrapy.linkextractors, import link extractor. Now, I'm just going to put up here a bit of a summary about link extractors and some sample code. Okay, so you can see here, so within your parse method, you can use a link extractor. And as they say in the Scrapy documentation, you can also use link extractors in regular spiders. And this is the good thing, because if most of you are familiar with writing spiders, then it's familiar territory. So what it does is it says from Scrapy Link Extractors, import link extractor, and then you can adjust all of these parameters. You can allow, you can deny, using regular expressions, domains, XPath, CSS, text, and so on. And to actually use it, it's these lines here. So within your parse method, you say for linking link extractor self. So within your init method, or the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to use an init method, and then we will extract the links from the response, and then we will yield a request to that URL from response, and it will keep iterating through them. So let's begin the code. It's probably easier for me to do it than it is to explain it. Let's begin, and we will start with, I'm just going to copy and paste in my logo just under UTF. There we go, and let's just save that within. I've created a workspace, so if you're familiar with VS Code, workspaces are brilliant because they just keep everything together, and when you reopen it, everything's there. So documents, scrapers, eBay 2, and this is going to be called eBay spider 2.py. And I'm sure you've now guessed what site we're going to be scraping. So first thing we'll do is import Scrapy, and then let's do the from Scrapy import spider, from Scrapy import request. You don't have to import these, but if you do, it makes your code a bit less verbose, should we say. And then we'll do crawler process. So we'll say from scrapy.crawler. You see how VS Code auto suggests things. Import. So remember the capitals, crawler process. And then we can say, this is the import the link extractor, and we will say here from scrapy.linkextractors. VS Code's done us a favor again. Import link with a capital, and it's got it again. So you see how VS Code actually does save you some typing, and it saves you especially where you've got case-sensitive methods. Well, all the methods are case-sensitive, so it's important that you get the case sensitivity correct. And let me just import OS as well, because I'll do my usual thing where I check if the output is there, and if it's not, if it is there, I'll remove it, the output file rather. So import OS, and let's just save that. No errors, good. And let's do class eBay spider, and now we can just use spider with capitals in here because we've already imported it here, you see. So there we go. And what's next? Name, call it something meaningful. This would be more important if you were running it from the Scrapy crawl. If you created a Scrapy project and you were running it with Scrapy crawl -o and then the output file name. Start underscore URLs as usual, and we will say we need to say HTTPS, and I'm going to say www.ebay.co.uk, and I'm not going to extract all of the links from ebay.co.uk because that would be too many. And I'm going to do deals. So if you're familiar with eBay, then there's a daily page which says deals. Let's just look at it. Thanks. Why didn't I just click follow link? It would have been easier, but never mind. ebay.co.uk/deals. Deals even, not eels. I really don't want, I do not want to, sorry about the typo. And here we go, you can see deals, ebay.co.uk/deals. And we just want to extract all of these links. Just as an example, why would you want to extract all of the links? Price comparison, price tracking, you might be after bargains. You might be a company that's paying to advertise on eBay and you want to see if your products are being listed on the daily deals. Anyway, that's the page we're going to be scraping. So next, back to the code. And let's do the usual. So we'll say try, and this is where we imported the OS. So we'll say os.remove. I'm just going to do the eBay file as a text file because we don't need a CSV. ebay2.txt. And if we get an exception, so if it doesn't exist, we have to throw up an error, and then we will just do pass. Good. Okay, so far so good. And what's next? Well, let's carry on with custom settings. Yeah. Because I've not set this up, because this is kind of a very minimalist approach and I'm not using the Scrapy project to begin all of this, what I'm actually going to do is type all of this. So concurrent requests. So if you don't want to be using Scrapy's settings.py file, then you can just use custom settings, and that means you don't need it. And auto throttle enabled true. That will do for starters anyway. You get the idea. Basically, if you want to add any custom settings and you don't want to do it with the recommended the recommended Scrapy Start project way, then just add custom settings within your singular spider. So yeah, this is the different bit. So def init. So if you're familiar with OOP, object-oriented programming, then you will want to use def init, and that's when the class is instantiated, or when the class is first brought into life, so to speak. Then we want to do self.link underscore extract. There's no autocomplete there. Equals link extract. Oh, there we go. Good, it's found it for us. And what I'm going to do is you can use allow or deny, and again it's auto completing it for us. And then I'm going to say, I'm just going to copy and paste this from my notes, because you don't want to watch me type this, it'd be boring. Next, def parse self response as usual. And so we've got an implicit start requests method, so we'll leave that as is. And then this is the bit that you've just seen in the Scrapy documentation. And we're going to say for link in self.link extractor .extract underscore links response. We want to get the links from the response, and for each one of those links we were going to say with, and this is where we use the ebay.txt file again, and we say ebay2.txt, and then we may as well say a plus, because we want to be appending each time as f.write. And let's use an f string, because it's going to be a string. Let's do a new line, and then we will say string of the link, because the link object will not be a string, not as we initially have it. So def parse, and then we will need to yield, so we will say we need to get the indentation correct, so we need it in line with outside of the right with eBay 2, right, but it still needs to be inside of the for loop, so it needs to be here. And then we say response dot follow, and this is where we want it to go. URL equals link callback equals self.parse. Good. So that's going to recursively go through the links. Good. And then we just need to do the usual if dunder name process.crawl. This is where you could have multiple spiders if you wanted to run multiple spiders, you could have several classes within this one spider, and you could run each of them. I referred to an example of that in my last video, and I put up a screenshot. There we go. So, and then just process.start, and let's try it. Okay, let's. The other thing I've had to do is the usual trick where I've had to tell VS Code to run the code from the path of the script. And it helps if you put open when you want to add to a file, so sorry about that. And let's run it now, so here we go. And I'm expecting it to get many, and it's not. Why is that? I've forgotten to add allowed domains, which is not good. Allowed domains equals ebay.co.uk. Let's test again. Error on line 36. For link in self.link underscore extractor dot extract underscore links response with open eBay txt for append as file.write, and then we're writing the string of the link, and then we're yielding. So let's just investigate that. And I've just noticed there's a missing underscore here as well, so let's begin. Let's begin testing and see what we get. We should get a lot of URLs now. And we're going to write each one of them to our text file, and we can see the dupe filter debug is running. And it's getting lots of results. 200, good. So I'm going to cancel this shortly. And I'm just going to show a couple of adjustments that you can make. You can modify some of the parameters that you pass. Just kill terminal there. If I view text file, wow. So it's ignored duplicates. However, it has got many links from the same page, as you can see. There we go. So you could pass this afterwards, obviously, or you can pass it as you're running it, which is what I'm going to talk about next. So on the Scrapy documentation, and I'm just going to add unique. Whether duplicate filtering should be applied to extracted links. So I'm just going to do this. So I think it's unique equals true, or unique equals false. So there we go. If you hover over in VS Code, this is so good. And yeah, unique equals true. See that? I was going to point to it, but yeah, unique equals true. Unique equals true. We've already used allow, so let's just add comma, unique equals true. And if we run it again, our code should it should delete our first text file, and let's just run it from here. This is using the code runner extension. So if you just installed VS Code and you don't have it, it's an extension. And it just allows you to just go up and click play. It saves you having to bring up terminal and fiddle about with the keyboard. As you can see, it's getting PGN, that's page number. There we go. And it's not getting any duplicates, hopefully, because we've set unique equals to true. And by default, we're getting the hrefs. But you can also tell it to extract other different attributes as well. But yeah, read the documentation and experiment. And one last thing let's just kill that there, and let's look at the output. And ebay2.txt. And as I say, it's it looks like you've got lots of duplicates, but in actual fact you haven't, because they're just multiple links from the same page with different query string parameters on the end. So there we go. You can pass those. You can do what you want with them. You see, we've got on the end, we've just scroll across, we've got text, UK only. So you could actually filter by some of this text. UK only. Yeah, so you could just find by this. If we do Control F, UK only, and it's found 84 results. There we go. So what was I going to wrap it up with? I was going to... Yeah, one last thing. I don't know if any of you have seen this site, but it's ProgramCreek. And this examples of whatever code example you're looking for, whatever methods you're trying to investigate or learn. So this one, there are 23 code examples for Scrapy Link Extractors, which is what I've just demoed. So there they're using the init method, and all the restrict X paths, all of those are set to nothing. And the link extractor is set to the keyword args, KW args. What we've got here. Yeah, they're passing KW args to the link extractor. There we've got, if you use that outside, if you don't use the self.init method, then you can use rules with the link extractor. There you see set follow equals to true. You could set follow equals to false if you didn't want to keep recursively searching for more URLs. And there we go. They're allowing anything with browse summary, and what if you allow something, then everything that's not being allowed gets denied. Yeah, similar again. There we go. Allow equals allow, deny equals deny. Yeah, one other thing was, I'm going to put this up in a minute, but if you look at the Scrapy documentation, it actually will let you go and visit the page, which, let's just go up here and I'll show you. Somewhere, it's source. Extract links, this is what we want. So if we look at the source for extract links, it's all on the Scrapy documentation. Source code for Scrapy Link Extractors, XML, HTML. One thing which is just worth kind of considering is that within the Link Extractors code, they've referred to w3lib.url. Now, if you investigate that, you will find that it is a very useful package. And this is not the Scrapy docs anymore. This is still read the docs.io, but yeah, you can see all of the methods within w3lib, and the comments kind of explain what they each do. So it also uses, if you're familiar with urllib in general, then you'll know about the names of the different parts of the URI. So netlock, safe download URL, encoding UTF-8. So there you go, scheme, netlock, path, query. If you're not familiar with those, look up urllib, and each one of those describes a different section of the URL. URL query cleaner. So add or replace parameters. So under the bonnet, this is what Scrapy is actually making use of. File URI to path URI, convert file URI to local file system path according to Wikipedia URI scheme. Now you can see convert local file system path to legal file URI. Lots and lots of things to look at here. Netlock. So netlock again. I think I showed that in a very old video, but if you look up netlock scheme URI urllib, that should find what I'm on about. And urllib.parse. So it parses URLs into components. And yeah, a long time ago I did a video on this, but essentially scheme is the URI scheme specifier. Then you've got the netlock, the network location part. Then you've got the path, then you've got parameters, you've got query, fragment, username, password, hostname. So here, for instance, scheme is empty because there's no HTTPS. Netlock is the www, so that's the www, the domain name, followed by the port. The path is the bit that comes after, and then the parameters and the query, so on. So yeah, have a read of parse URLs into components, urllib.parse. Have a read of w3lib, because this is what Scrapy's Link Extractor makes use of. Module contains general purpose URL functions not found in the standard library. And here you can see it makes use of OS space 64, which is encoding, regular expressions, strings, collections, urllib.parse. So you see how it all links together. urllib.parse features in w3lib, w3lib features in link extractors, which all feature within Scrapy. So yeah, I hope I'll put this code on GitHub and put the links for you there, and have an experiment. It's the best way to learn. So until the next time, thanks for watching, and subscribe and all that. Yeah, thanks. Bye.